So today we talk about the newest gimmick from the Pokemon TCG, the Radiant Greninja. But first, before we do, as we always do, let's roll that intro. Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, friends, we take a look at this exclusive article from CBR, where they basically exclusively reveal 12 trading cards from the upcoming Astral Radiance expansion. Astral Radiance is not that far away. Quite literally, this week is the end of the month, and then we're in May, which is the month that Astral Radiance drops. So, more and more, we are going to start to see leaks and reveals, and this is actually one that was revealed only a day ago, so actually not even that long ago, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so as always, the link to this article will be down below. As usual, I will be providing my commentary and my own thoughts kind of on the topic as well. If you do like today's video, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. It helps support the channel and helps push this content out to more and more people via the YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you're new here and you like today's content, definitely feel free to subscribe. It's another great way to support the channel and join the Gengar Gang. But with all that said, let's jump right on into this. So, they're revealing 12 cards from the upcoming Sword and Shield set. Obviously, this is a CBR exclusive, and Astral Radiance is an expansion for the massively popular trading card game. Really not saying anything anyone doesn't already know. The one thing, though, is that first reported in March, these new Radiant Pokemon will feature a new game mechanic featuring shiny Pokemon with a powerful ability or attack. Golly gee willikers. Doesn't that sound familiar at all? Anyways, so, you know, this Radiant Greninja, for example, allows a player to discard an energy card and then draw 2 cards from their deck. I don't know exactly how useful that is, and I don't mean to say that to be funny. I just genuinely don't understand how the trading card works much, so this is hopefully a very good ability. And these cards include unique illustrations and abilities that could change a battle's direction for the player. However, you're only allowed 1 Pokemon, Radiant Pokemon, per deck. Again, golly gee willikers, it sounds familiar, but I just can't seem to remember where I read something similar like that before. Anywho, other cards featured in the set include new trainers, Hisuian forms, and locations from Pokemon Legends Arceus. I've already made the commentary that PLA is one of the first non-regular video games, right? Because normally we're used to seeing, you know, the Sword and Shield era, but Pokemon Legends Arceus was obviously a very unique Pokemon game. But what's so interesting is that although it seems to be almost sort of an ancillary type of game, it has had a massive, almost mainstream game type of effect on the trading card game, which I think signals that in the future we're going to see this pattern repeat. So we might have the 2 mainstream games, a Pokemon Legends game that supplements that, and it'll kind of help, you know, players enjoy the world of Pokemon, because do bear in mind, there are tons of regions now. So it's not like back in the day when, you know, there was Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn. Now, you know, we're coming up on 9 different regions, which means, you know, it'll be cool to kind of bounce back and forth between regions, especially having the ability to see different regions at different points in time. I think that's one of the major benefits that we saw from the release of the video games and how it's impacting the trading card game right now from both a collectability standpoint and a playability standpoint. So obviously the fact that we get to see Sinnoh, but not only Sinnoh in present day in BDSP, but also in a more ancient time from PLA. So I think that combination makes for a really in-depth sort of immersion into the world at large. And I think that is a really powerful and a very effective way of world building for a multimedia franchise like Pokemon. So again, revisiting a statement I've made a couple times now, but obviously one of the benefits to Pokemon is that you consume it through the anime, through the trading card game, through the video game, or some combination of all of the different ways that you can truly enjoy Pokemon. And it's not uncommon for TCG players to either dabble over into one or multiple of the different streams of Pokemon content that are available. So similarly, for someone who did play a lot of Brilliant Diamond and did play a lot of Pokemon's Pokemon Legends Arceus, I can very much say I'm looking forward to pulling Jubilife Village or seeing some artwork that is inspired by that quote-unquote old-timey type of vibe that PLA really gave off. So that's another thing that I'm very excited about. I hope other folks are sort of observing that and realizing that as well, because I think it's one of the most effective strategies that will hopefully make a set or a series like this one very memorable in the future. And again, remember, a major part of our hobby is funded and fundamentally based on the idea of nostalgia and what people are interested in from a nostalgic point of view. So with all that said, let's take a look at some of these cards. Here are the 10. So here is the Radiant Greninja. So again, looks so unfamiliar. It's like a brand new mechanic. Wow, I am astounded. Ladies and gentlemen, this is groundbreaking stuff. Anywho, ability concealed cards. So you can, this is where you can drop the energy and then you could pick up 2 cards once during your turn. And then, you know, one of the other gimmicks to these types of cards is usually there's an incredibly powerful type of move. So it does 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Which is pretty cool. So you can kind of do, you know, the active Pokemon as well as one of the benched Pokemon, 2 benched Pokemon. So you can really kind of do a little bit of, you know, gaming here. And then one thing that I do think is pretty neat, they are including little narratives. So right down here where my mouse is, you'll note that you know, you'll see a little bit of commentary, which I think is pretty cool. They've explored this at multiple times throughout Pokemon TCG's history, but just one of those things I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, here is a stadium card for Jubilife Village. Do note the Team Galaxy building all the way back in the distance, the little bridge, so exactly how it is in the video game. And then do note Mount Coronet with the space-time distortion hovering over it. So this is literally, I don't, you know, it's obviously not a screenshot from the video game, but it looks like it could be, and I think that's pretty neat. Next up is the Zacian V card. So one thing that I am super excited about is that I do note that this is another trainer gallery. So if you're looking down here at the set numbers, we do see the Astral Radiance set logo right here. But the one other thing to note is that it's TG21 out of TG30, TG being trainer gallery, the exact same formatting for these cards and the exact same identifier for these cards that we saw in Brilliant Stars, which dropped a few months ago. So one thing to note, for a fact, we will be getting a trainer gallery, and these are some of the cards. Personally, I think the trainer galleries have been some of the highlights of the past set plus this next upcoming set. I think they are really cool cards. They really do the artwork very well, and I can very easily see a case where cards like this particularly are going to age very well from both a graded standpoint as well as a collectability standpoint. Moving on, we have a Zamazenta. Again, this is 21 and 22 out of the trainer gallery, so another really cool card. Not really much to say other than that, you know, they're just very good looking cards and I genuinely like them. We're flipping back right now to the base set of Astral Radiance. So this is 132 out of 189. With secret rares, we are definitely going to breach 200 cards. Here we have a Hisuian Braviary, and what's interesting is that you have the Psywave attack, and then this attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. What's interesting is that Psywave would have otherwise been a Psychic type move, so they are kind of nodding to the idea that it is a dual type and, you know, a Hisuian variant of the Pokemon. Here we have the Origin Form Dialga V, so here is the, you know, standing 4-legged monstrosity that they rolled out in Pokemon Legends Arceus. We can see it's only 113 of 189. I'm sure we're going to get a V-Star version of this, I'm sure, and we already know we're getting a alternate art and things of the sort. Next up is the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So Calyrex being one of the Pokemon introduced in the video game realm via a additional bit of DLC, and so we're now seeing it pretty extensively explored, right? We had Chilling Reign, which was kind of its premiere set, but now we're seeing them circle back to also kind of tie in some of those Pokemon for enjoyers of the base Sword and Shield era. So you're getting a nice blend of both some of the remake stuff from the Sinnoh region, as well as some of the stuff from the Sword and Shield expansion and that true Sword and Shield era at the beginning of this 3-year bracket. And do note, again, these are all trainer gallery cards, right? So this is 18, this is 17, so they kind of flip the order, but this is the V, and then this is going to be the V Max. And then moving on from there, we do have a Bea. So Bea is going to be Trainer Gallery 25. Bea has obviously been in a ton of sets already just as a regular trainer, but they are giving her a different artwork for the Trainer Gallery. We saw that last time. Here's a card that I'm personally in love with. It's a Teddiursa. Teddiursa is one of the Pokemon for folks who haven't played Pokemon Legends Arceus that is basically in a few different locations. It's one of those Pokemon you would run into pretty frequently if you were a frequent or casual explorer of the land. And because of that, I think it's really cool because they're playing on the fact that you've played the game, you've experienced the game, and now you see the card. And again, it works to really mentally tie the two worlds together for you and really kind of make a seamless experience around all of the different types of Pokemon media that you are consuming. That said, I'm sure we're going to see an Ursaring, we might see an Ursaluna. Wouldn't really surprise me given that this card is in the set. If you don't know what an Ursaluna is, prepare yourself. Next up, we have Origin Form Palkia V-Star, so the other monstrosity that we saw. And yeah, there's a lot going on these cards. They kind of look very familiar to some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're taking some inspiration, you know, back and forth, and that makes sense. Obviously, TCGs cross-pollinate and do stuff like that all of the time. Note that this is in the original set, right? And then finally but not least, here is an Origin Form Palkia V. And this is number 39 of 189. We expect it to be a lower number because it is a water-type Pokemon, and, you know, mathematically that's how they would kind of roll out. The one thing to note from the other video that I did about Astral Radiance, there is actually a really cool Easter egg in this set, at least within the Japanese version of the equivalent sets for Astral Radiance, and that is that the alternate art Origin Form Palkia is actually out of order when it comes to the way that they order sets. So I am super curious to see if once someone gets their hands on an ETB and we see the set list, if the same Easter egg has been brought over to the English TCG. The reason people are surmising that that is occurring is because Palkia is a Pokemon that controls space, so it can quite literally move itself from the right order into a different area of the set in order for it to be fun. I also think they would have done a really cool Easter egg if they had accidentally, quote unquote, dropped a Dialga in Brilliant Stars, right? Since it controls time, they would have been able to say that it came out early or out of set, right? So one of the Pokemon that controls space moved itself within the sets. One of the Pokemon that controls time moved itself to a completely separate set that got released. I think those would be pretty cool, but we do know for a fact the Japanese sets had that happen. Super curious to see if these do. To wrap up the article, obviously, you know, they do a little bit of chit-chatting about the most recent expanse. You know, you'll have fire-type Pokemon, you'll have powers only available to V-Star Pokemon, so really kind of commenting on some of the new mechanics, and then obviously they are confirming that you'll have the ETBs, booster packs, and special collections. Pokemon Sword and Shield Astral Radiance officially launches May 27th. So friends, with all that said, there is some additional cards for you to look at from the new Astral Radiance set. We do have about, give or take, a month left of waiting, but at least we'll officially be in the month of May, which means we can move to that, you know, couple of weeks countdown. Let me know down below if you're excited about the new cards or the new set in general. A lot of people are holding their breath because Brilliant Stars was really a great set, and so a lot of people are curious if Astral Radiance will be able to fully capture the hype that Brilliant Stars did, and a lot of people are betting one way or the other, so that's another interesting thing to know. With all that said, you know, my big hesitation is these Radiant Pokemon. I feel like from a TCG mechanics perspective, I love the fact that they're bringing back effectively what are Gold Star Pokemon, right? Because they work in a very similar way. They are these, one per deck type of Pokemon card that you're allowed to have. They do a lot of damage, they do a lot of really good stuff, and you can really synergize well from a TCG playability point of view. But, personally, I just think that one of the real challenges that we kind of have to look at is just this idea that, for the most part, they're never going to capture the true amazingness of a Gold Star again. Now, it's funny because I don't think Pokemon has that intention. When they did Brilliant Pokemon, or whatever that gimmick was in Vivid Voltage, or really any of the other types of Pokemon that have existed as a special variant, one of the things that I've always kind of sat and thought about is I don't think the TCG is really trying to recreate Gold Stars. I think from a TCG mechanics point of view they are, but they don't really care about the vintage market so much that they're trying to push these cards, right? They're just trying to give another mechanic for card players to mess around with, to enjoy, to implement in their TCG strategy. I think a lot of these diamond hand investors, however, on the back end, have often posed the question, is this the next Gold Star? And consistently and always, the answer is no. No. Like, that's it. Like, what do you want? It's not going to be the next Gold Star, because Gold Stars were their own thing back in a very special time and place in the Pokemon TCG's history. So, let me know your thoughts down below on those thoughts that I thought about. Thanks again for checking out another video, friends, and with all that said, I appreciate your time and viewership. If you liked today's video, don't forget to leave a like, and hey, if you're not already, subscribe to join the Gengar Gang and help continue to grow our happy little community. But other than that, again, I appreciate your time, I appreciate you stopping by, and we will talk soon. Peace.